Hey guys, how's it going? It's James here, formerly of Audio.etc. Today I am installing a MGP Growler slip-on exhaust for my 2014 Kawasaki Ninja 300. So the reason I say formally, and the only reason I ran that clip, is because even though Audio.etc is technically over, I still want to remind people who are watching my videos where I've come from. So yeah, this is my 2014 Kawasaki Ninja. I've shown it a few times on my channel, but this is the first video I've ever shown any modifications that I'm doing to it. I have already done a couple of things here and there to it, which I will show you, and but today I wanted to do something cool, something that actually made a difference. So today I'm doing an exhaust, because at the moment it sounds, best way I can describe it is like a high-powered scooter. Sounds cool, but it's like still, it's not very rowdy. I'll play a clip of it now. So that's what it sounds like with the stock exhaust. And by the way, I had warmed it up prior to that, so don't worry, it wasn't a cold starter or a cold rev or anything like that. It was warmed up. So yeah, today here's what I'm doing. So yeah, that's the stock exhaust. Here's what I ordered. MGP Growler Slip-on kit. Not too expensive, not one of the most expensive kits you can get for this bike. There are lots of them out there, and this one only cost me around about 320 New Zealand dollars, which is actually really cheap compared to some of the other ones. I really like the way this one sounds just from hearing it on videos on YouTube. I know that never really does anything justice, and I'm sure this video, like that clip I just played and the one at the end of this video, I'm sure that won't do the exhaust justice, but you do what you can. I have got a proper microphone on here, so hopefully it sounds decent for you guys. And yeah, let's do this. So, I've watched videos on how to install these things quite a few times, and I think I've got the general gist of it. It should be pretty simple. Basically this whole trim piece down here just has to come off. There's a few bolts and a couple of quick release clips that comes down, and that basically gives you access to the shroud. You remove the shroud and then eventually the whole exhaust comes off. It should be pretty simple. So I'm gonna, yeah, have a crack at it. Okay guys, so I just thought before we get into it, I'd insert this clip. I've just finished doing the install. You may be able to see it there, I'm not sure, but just finished doing it, and I thought I'd insert this clip now because I know exactly what tools they used. So if you guys are following along and using this as a tutorial at all, I thought you might find it useful to know exactly what tools you need, and it's really not that much. Main thing you need obviously is an Allen key set, which is, I mean, you can get away with using one of these, but what would be even better if you do have them is some socket to hex head adapters, and a socket set or just a ratchet. The only size sockets I needed were 10, 12, and 14, and then so the nuts that come with the MGP exhaust are a 13mm, so ideally a 13mm spanner, because they're the ones that are behind the bolts holding the whole thing up. So that's really all you need. Oh, and this stubby screwdriver, don't worry, there are no flathead things you have to turn, but what I used this for was for getting that spring to go from hook to hook, because you need that to hold the two pieces together. So just this flathead thing was kind of what I used to stretch it out and get it behind the thing. Literally that is like all you need. 3 sockets, a couple of sizes of Allen key. Ratchet is best. I mean obviously you need a ratchet for your sockets, but if you don't have these then you can get away with Allen keys, but they are better. And that's literally everything you need. So yeah, if you're following along, yeah, thanks for watching and using me as a tutorial, I guess. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so taking this bottom piece off should be real simple. It's just 2 bolts here. Just need a flat blade screwdriver to get under these quick release ones. That one just pushes in, oops, and comes out like that. And this one quick releases like that. And now, if I'm not mistaken, this all just comes off like that. And so now we have access to get this thing off. Now this part can be tricky. I don't think it's overly tricky, but I've just seen people online find there's a knack to it, if you know what I mean. But I'll just start unbolting things and see how I go. So let's start by getting this big one here. I may need a proper, yeah, I think I'm going to need a proper Allen key for that, because that's the wrong size. That one there, cool, that's all of that. Get that stuff out of the way. Now, what else is there holding this on? Oh, I see. So this has a finger welded to it under there, which is underneath a hose clamp style thing. So I just need a 10mm. See how tight this is done up. Oh, nice and easy. Yeah, a bit easier with my little 10mm driver. There we go. That loosens that off, and then it looks like it slides forward to come off. Like that, and then, oh, is there another one? Just gonna move that forward, and then there we go. That's the shroud. So that was that little tongue I was talking about. And that was under that hose clamp there. And now, that could probably come off, I think. Now we just gotta undo this, which looks like a 12. Undo this big bolt, which is holding it all up there, and take it off. Yep, 12. It's quite tight. There we go, that's pretty loose. That one looks like a 14. 14. Yep. There's just a nut on the end of this, by the feel of it. That's that nut. And now, it feels like it will just unthread. That's a rubber washer and thing, and then this must, because that's free, so now this should just slide off. A little bit of twisting action. There we go. There we go. No exhaust, straight pipe. And so now, I mean, it has got the, now I forget, I don't think that's called a muffler. That's something else. Resonator muffler, cat, I don't know. Oh no, wait, that's just the Y joiner. I don't know much about exhausts. But like every other video on YouTube of an exhaust being installed on one of these, or on a motorbike, I can't help but turn it on and see what it sounds like with no muffler at all. Apparently they're quite loud, but we shall see. That is way louder. That's barely touching the throttle. I'm having to yell over it now. Woo! That's cool. We're not going to do too much of that, otherwise we'll be getting noise complaints. Still, had to hear it. Always interesting to know, isn't it? Cool. Alright, next fun step. Trying to put the new one on. Hopefully it's as easy getting that one on as it was getting that one off. Sweet. So, in this kit, by the way, I got this off Amazon. I think I forgot to say that earlier. It was cheapest to buy this off Amazon than it was to buy it straight from MGP, or off eBay. I don't think there actually was any of these on eBay, but there were lots of these on Amazon. I got the standard one with the angled tip thing, as opposed to the stainless tip or anything like that, or the carbon tip. That's just the standard one. So that's the muffler. A little angle adapter doodacky. A bag of bits and pieces with the main clamp and nuts and bolts and stickers and stuff like that. So let's get all this out. I probably will put the MGP sticker on. All these ones here, these OEM cycle ones, I'm imagining this is the company or the brand that sells them on Amazon who I bought it off. I'm sorry guys, I just realised that I had the camera on manual focus, so I'm sorry if anything was out of focus for the last 5 minutes or whatever I've been filming for. Sorry about that. So yeah, OEM MGP. Let's get all this out of its bag. Okay, we got one big bolt, one little bolt, 3 washers, 2 nuts, a little angled piece of metal, and a spring, and this clamp which is already on here. Oh, and actually that reminds me, this clamp that was on here already can come off. That's the one that held the tongue for the shroud on the original. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is attach these pieces together first. And it took me a while to figure this out. I had to go and re-watch a video, but because there's no hose clamp or anything like that to lock these 2 pieces together, that just goes, it slips on like that, and then literally this spring here just goes from here to here, and that's what holds the 2 pieces together, and that's all there is. Now just notice this made in Italy sticker. I'm just thinking this sticker is probably going to end up melting off or something like that, because I I feel like this is probably going to get hot, so I think I might try and peel some of that off now. Otherwise it's just going to go yucky. There we go, that came off nice and cleanly. Cool. It's good to know that it's genuine though, made in Italy, not just a knockoff from China or something like that. So now getting the spring on from the feel of it, it will be quite hard. So I'm going to have to use a screwdriver or something, I think. Oh my god, that's tough. I need a stronger screwdriver. I'm going to break that one. So now this, oh god, this is just asking for trouble, isn't it? Far out. That doesn't seem right. It's not sitting all the way in. Come on. Oh my god, that's not right. That is not right. It's probably bending it. Let's see if we can get it back off. Oh, there we go. We'll try it from this direction instead. Oh god, that's tough. Oh my god. As much as I dislike the idea of using a spring to hold the whole thing together, there's no way this spring is gonna land, no way this is coming off on its own. There we go. That's held on to like crazy. That is not going anywhere. Tough. Oh, there's another sticker to peel off. Even though, I don't know if people leave these on normally and it takes away some of the genuineness of it, I just don't want these cooking on there or burning or doing anything. Alrighty, now let's try and put it on the bike, shall we? Need to figure out precisely the clamp, because that, I'm going to put it, need to figure out what way this is supposed to, probably goes like that to correct for the angle. So I'm going to put this on like that. Let's just tighten this up. Oh, that's not a 12, that's a bit bigger. Not going to tighten it all the way up yet, I just want to get it on tight enough so it's actually starting to clamp, but not fully tight. I think this might actually be a 13mm, or some imperial thing, probably. That's good enough. Alright, now this big thing basically just goes around here like this, and then this looks like it's supposed to go in the middle, and with a bit of luck reach up to there. The angle bit must go at the bottom, so that goes like that pretty much. Okay, so let's get this piece on. So the question is, do I want to use this bolt that they've supplied me, or the factory one? Probably the one they've supplied me, but I do need to keep with these bits. That needs to go through there. This is supposed to be like that, which I doubt it is. I see the issue people have been talking about with this. The distance from the hole to the curve or the bracket isn't enough to line the bolt up with it. So you would have to do it like that, or like that, which is even more absurd. Could do it like that actually. I see a lot of people like they just kind of bend these to make them work. But I would like to get it to work if I could without having to bend it, because it's a pretty strong bit of metal. But this piece needs to be relatively perpendicular. How do they normally do this?
6.5 hours later.
Okay, so it took me a while to figure it out, but I think it is actually just meant to go through the front here like this. It took me a while to figure out just because it didn't come with any instructions or anything like that, but I think that's the way it's meant to be. Angle's not exactly right, but I think it's close enough that it will work. Need to put this over though. That goes there. And then we just need a washer and a nut on the other side. Actually, it comes with 4 washers, which means I can put one on this side as well. Washer, let's just check, it doesn't go. No, it definitely doesn't go that way. It goes like that, yeah. That through there, then a washer, and then a nut, and go like that. Now this one goes over here like this. It's supposed to pull it all the way up there some frickin' here. Oh god, that makes it, I don't know how that works. There we go. Now just this last one here, which is a 10, 14, 13. God, we'll get there eventually. 13, hey, there it is. I've got to be careful with this because I've seen a video on YouTube of a guy installing one of these, and I think this clamp is quite cheap, and that broke quite easily. We threaded it pretty easily, so I've got to just be careful with this, I think. Don't do it too hard. There we go. It's pretty tight. Not going anywhere. Let's start her up, see what it sounds like. right down the middle, by the way. It sounds way better than... Listen to the difference. That's good. It's good. That sounds really cool. I'm happy. Only thing... My only pet peeve is that just the way it's ended up being, probably because of the way this bracket's been formed, is that, see this notch here, that's like the top of the exhaust pipe. It's not directly vertical with the bike. Like the top of the bike is more that way and it's off on an angle, you know. But that is probably just due to how this bracket's formed. You can see that it's actually on an angle, that's how it came. And unfortunately it is quite a thick bit of steel, or whatever it is made of. It's probably an alloy of some kind. And I don't have a vise or anything like that to bend it into the shape that I want. So yeah, it's my only pet peeve, like the airflow is coming back this direction, like kind of across the path of the bike, as opposed to coming directly straight back out. But that's just my OCD, you know, just my OCD. As long as it doesn't look like to me like it's going to be blowing hot air onto the tyre or anything like that, so I think it'll be fine. And of course the tyre's moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, so that'll keep cool. Okay, cool. Time to put that cover panel back on, tidy things up, and then stickers. Okay, update. I've just cleaned up the area a wee bit, and you know how I was complaining about the angle of the exhaust a wee bit? I actually managed to fix it just by twisting it with my hand, since it is separate from this wee angled piece here. But I don't know how long it'll stay, because obviously this vibrates with the bike, and as you can see the spring is on a slight angle there. It's just spun that around a wee bit. So with vibrations and the strength of that spring, it may end up rotating back to where it was, but I've put it like that for now, and we'll see after, you know, a week or so if it's vibrated back to where it was, but for now it looks good. So, stickers. Oops, stickers everywhere. I'm definitely going to put this MGP one on. And there's also, what is this one here? HotBodies Racing as well. How many of those do I get? I've only got one HotBodies and one MGP. So, with these stickers, what a lot of people tend to do is this MGP one. You'll probably put it on the side of the exhaust like this, either underneath there, which looks really stupid because you cut out like half of the G or whatever, or straight over top of it, which I also think looks a bit nah, because you get a big lump. So I'm going to be a bit different, and I've found my own way that I think I'm going to stick this one on. I really like the way, if I put it like this, which by the way is almost perfectly level with the ground, that little rivet there fits perfectly in that slot there, and then if I line it up right, see the front of the P is perfectly parallel with the bracket. I'm going to be different and have it like that. And then this HotBodies Racing one, I don't know what people mostly do with it. I guess I could stick it down here, but I think I'm going to leave this one off for now. I will keep it, and I might do something with it later on, but for now we're just going to do the MGP one. So I'm going to be a bit different and put it on my way. I've got some mets here. I don't want to use a whole lot because we're dealing with a hot surface, but I'm just going to lightly, just going to spray some on this rag here, because I just want to just clean up the area, just to make sure it's completely free of contaminants, because I don't want the sticker peeling over time, you know. Okay, let's stick this on. I'm going to have to put the camera down because this is a two-hand job. This is more of a decal than a sticker really. It's actually quite thick. No, that's not right. Oh jeez, this is a sticky one. There we go. This sticker actually has metal in it. I can feel it's got a layer of aluminium underneath, so it's kind of like rigid. There we go. I want to flatten that out. It's got a bit of a kink in it, but that's okay. That looks good. I'm happy. That's cool. That looks different to how most people have it. I like it. Someone's going to be in the comments who's done one of these, but he's doing it wrong. The stick is supposed to go that way. I thought about, you know, doing the whole, put this one here, but then I think it's just getting a wee bit overloaded. It's a bit too much. This will get, I'll just keep this for a bit later. Oh, that's cool. I like how you can read it. It's not like, that's quite a cool place to put it. Maybe one day we'll do something with that later. So yeah, there we go, guys. It's all done. This whole venture has literally only taken me about half an hour, and I've been filming at the same time, so that would have put that would have put a hold on things. So literally, you could probably get this done in 15 or 20 minutes flat. And I was going to say if you know what you're doing, but you really don't have to know what you're doing. This is the first sort of real mechanical or hardware mod I've done on this bike. The only, like, I really don't know what I'm doing, and I was able to do this in 30 minutes with filming. The only experience that I may have that some of you may not, is I've worked on a lot of cars, so I know how much to do things hand tight, you know, with bolts before they strip and things like that. But that's really just a bit of common sense and feeling it out. Just don't, you know, macho man it. Just be realistic about how tight you do things. But other than that, yeah, it was real self-explanatory and simplistic. I can see why it doesn't come with instructions. But let me just give you a close-up about that bracket, just in case some of you find it confusing the way I did. Because it's a funny shape, so it did go on the outside of the bike, not on the inside. And the angled bend is at the top, if you can see that. So this is just a simple right angle bend here, but the one at the top is the angled one. Yeah, but you can see that it isn't quite formed dead perfectly. It'd be ideal if that was more angled that way a wee bit, like to the right. That might be something to do with the fact that this exhaust also fits on a Ninja 250. So maybe they just made something halfway in between that fits both of them. And I mean, if you've got a vise and some pliers and a couple of muscles, you could probably bend that out the way you wanted. But yeah, other than that, real simple. I am happy. I'm just gonna do one final tidy up. By the way, also something else people have talked about when they do these is the weight reduction. That thing is super light. This thing is, man, that weighs like an easy 5 kg or something like that. And that box alone, maybe 1 or 2 less, maybe 1 kg. So maybe this will make it faster. I don't think it will, but still, any weight less is good. Let's listen to it again. I can see why they call it the Growler. Smells good. I'm gonna let it warm up a wee bit, pause the camera, and then I'll come back when it's warm and I'll do a bigger rev. Okay, so I know it's warmed up now because after about 2 minutes the rev on this actually goes down a wee bit. It's like a car. When it first turns on, it sort of idles a wee bit higher, and then after a while it goes back down. So let's have a listen. This thing's probably going to be pretty loud. Sounds so good, so good. I can't wait to take it for a ride. But again, I'm not going to do it super crazy in the backyard because, you know, neighbours want to be somewhat considerate. Not hugely, but somewhat. The kids next door. This sounds good. We have a little bit of drippage. Cold water dripping from up here somewhere, I don't know why. It's probably just a wee bit of condensation or something. Question is it hot? That's mildly warm. Oh yeah, hot to the touch, but not melting. I'm glad I took the stickers off because you can already see there's like a wee bit of residue and dirt from where I took them off. Actually, a wee bit of wax and grease remover would get that off pretty quick. I'll let it cool down and then I'm going to give this whole thing a clean. Actually, look at all that. It's whole dirt and everything. Meths will get the dirt. Wax and grease remover will get rid of that sticker residue. Okay, there we go. Looking a lot better. I forgot that I didn't bring wax and grease remover home. Only meths. But got rid of all the dirt, even though it's going to come back in a week's time anyway. So yeah, that's looking good. So yeah, that's the exhaust portion of this video done, guys. If you're just here for that and you're using it as a tutorial, thank you for watching this video, and I'll hopefully catch you next time. For anyone else who's going to hang around, I'm going to show you the other things that I have done to this bike. It's really nothing huge. That's the first sort of big thing that I've done. But these are just a couple of things that I did last weekend when I went for that ride around the hills and talked about my new job and everything like that. So yeah, here's what I did. I think you saw it in the last video. Obviously, actually if I turn this out of the way, I did install one of these. What are these called again? IDEA gear indicators for the Ninjas. So it just tells you what gear you're in while you're riding. That was pretty easy to install. Like it's just adhesive on there, and the wire is professionally run, of course, because you know I have experience in wire running. Ran all the way down with the factory loom behind all these panels and everything like that, and then the connector for it is under the rear seat here. There is actually, I could probably show you. Yeah, sometimes getting this off with one hand can be tricky, so I've raised my foot. There we go. So take that off, and then under this little trunk, this is by my boot by the way, no room for a subwoofer. Take this little lid up, and then that connector there, which did have a blank connector to it, is now got a wire coming out of it, and that is just for that. So this is essentially the diagnostics plug. Not as much to diagnose, but that is a diagnostics plug. Connects to the computer and tells the little device what gear it's in. If anyone else is wondering about one of these and wanting a review, here's my quick review. Works, but isn't that great. I was expecting it to be instantaneous, like I put it in gear, it knows I'm in gear. Unfortunately, it's not that quick. I think what it kind of does, it doesn't know what gear you're in unless you're moving forward in it. Like you have to have more than 1 kilometer an hour on the display for it to know what gear you're in, which can sometimes confuse it if you're downshifting and you go down and you downshift really quickly. It will think that you've come down to gear 3 when you're actually down in first. So no one else really makes one for this bike, unfortunately, but you know, doubt all there is really available, but they're not perfect. So they work for the most part. They definitely are accurate when you're like cruising on a constant speed, but as you're going through the gears, sometimes they're a wee bit inaccurate. But as I say, there's not much else available, so I'll have it. Am I going to leave it like that? No. You guys know I'm all about fabrication and making things look nice. I think what I might do eventually, at some point, is, so this little rubber piece here on the front where it says gear and IDA, that actually comes off and it's just a blank piece of plastic with a number behind it, or with an LED display. I'm probably going to at some point use my Dremel and I'll cut a little section out of the plastic somewhere here on the cluster or on the dash, trim, whatever you call it, maybe up here. I'll cut a little section out for the number to display through, and then the rubber piece will stick over top of it so that it looks like it's flush embedded into the plastic, rather than having it attached with a piece of adhesive here. Because so it has already a couple of times on hot days, I've come back out to my bike from work and found it hanging down there, but it does re-stick pretty easily. It's just on the hot days that it falls off. So that's that. As you can see by all the terrible bubbles on my dash, I did try and put a screen protector on it. Found a $1 screen protector on eBay. Figured they're all going to be the same quality, whether I pay $1 or $5. So I bought one. I did a terrible job of it. I didn't clean the screen enough. There's lots of bubbles, and also I wasn't very happy with the quality of it. Because this piece was probably the best piece, but it's not adhesive at all. It just doesn't, it kind of sticks there by air friction, which there isn't much. The indicator ones, as you can see, are just a wee bit too big, and what that results in is the tabs overhanging the edges of it, getting air under them, and then it just looks crap. So there's the other one, and they also came with one for this, but they assembled it backwards somehow. It's like they assembled it with the adhesive on the wrong side of the piece that's meant to stick on there, so I couldn't use it. For $1 I'm not bothered, but still it's just annoying. So I'm gonna take those off probably at some point because they just look ugly. But the other main thing I did that I am happy with is I installed a radiator guard, so basically to stop stones damaging it, because it already had a few, not chips, but you know what radiators look like when they've had stones hit them and they go a bit bent and out of whack and stuff. So this one I got off eBay. It was like literally only 30 bucks. It was very easy to install, just 4 bolts that hold the radiator on, although the radiator doesn't fall down when you undo them because there is still these two here securing it, so you don't have to worry about the radiator coming down when you undo this bolt, and the two up the top. And then yeah, that just literally slipped over top, put the bolts back through, easy peasy. I think this also works for the Z300, which is why it's got that Z on there. And there were ones that had Ninja written on them, but they were like twice the price. And why would I pay twice the price for something that does the same job and just has a different name on it? And at some point what I also want to do is get a guard for the downpipes here as well. But at the moment they're around about 80 to 100 bucks, so we'll do that eventually. But this was nice and cheap and a good starting point. So that's what I did last weekend, just a few little baby things, that the guard, the LED display thing to tell me what gear I'm in, and the really shitty screen protector job that I did. I forgot about how annoying plastic screen protectors were. Like for the last however many years I've used the tempered glass ones, and they work perfectly every time. Cool! So that's pretty much me done, guys. One quick thing I will talk to you about, you know, because I know at this point we've probably just got, you know, the real loyalists sticking around to see what I'm actually up to with my bike. You guys may want to know what I've got planned for the bike in the future. So I've got a box of goodies there with some things that I've already purchased for this bike to go on, and I'll talk about the other things that I have yet to order and what to do to it. But we might go inside for this because it's getting a bit windy out here and a bit noisy. That pipe is looking so good though. Me likey. Let's move this massive one out of the way. That thing is way heavier than it needs to be. I don't know why it's so heavy. So I have a Rockford Fosgate Power T600 4 here. That's right, I'm putting a massive 4-channel amplifier on the bike. No, I'm not. That's a joke. So I'm just using this box at the moment just to keep the goodies that I've got for the bike in it. Boom! We've got a Valentine 1. Yes, I know it's from America and it's old and probably a piece of crap, but I'm either going to put this one or the Beltronics that I've got in my car in it. It just depends on which one I can get to work with a speaker, because I've actually got a little powered speaker here for Radiator. So I can either use this one or the little old Beltronics I've got in my car. At some point, the bike will get a radar system. What else have we got in here? That is a horn, like an alarm horn siren, because at some point I'm going to put some kind of security system on the bike, but it's going to be real cleverly wired up. I don't like relying on a key fob that I have in my pocket or can potentially get stolen, which gives them instant access to the bike. I want to be the only person who knows how to start that bike, and if you don't do it right, you get a massive loud siren telling that person just to... Oh. So I'll do that at some point, but I probably won't film it. I don't ever film security measures that I do to my vehicles. Here is that screen protector, which I just am unhappy about. CK Cattle King, yeah. See, look, like... Have I still got it in here? The piece that... Where is it? Ah, there it is. So, this one here. This here is the piece that was meant to go on the digital cluster. And it's round the wrong way. The sticky side is on this side. So, it's backwards. It needed to be like this and have the sticky side on that side, but they did it wrong, so yeah. I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to install these, but these are a couple of driving lights similar to what I've got on my Legacy. Just LED strip things. Another horn. Obviously it already has a horn, but if I can make it twice as loud, why not? People need to know they're in my way, or that they did something stupid. There's the box for that IDEA Trip KO2 computer. Gear display for Kawasaki. 5 out of 10. Probably should say what this is since you've seen it already. Parrot MKI 9100. As much as I would really like to have put a Rockford Fosgate PMX something or other on there, they're actually a lot bigger than they look in the brochure, and I couldn't find a decent place for one, and it means I have to buy it as well. But this I was able to get, you know, for a very cheap price. So this will basically just, yeah. Long story short, eventually I want to put a sound system in the bike. As ridiculous as that is, I know I've got a helmet on, I know I'm riding and I've got a loud exhaust and I can't hear it, but it's... I just spent 5.5 years doing car audio. You can't tell me I shouldn't put a speaker system on my motorbike. It's going to happen. And I mean, I know that isn't like a stereo or an amplifier or anything like that, but this is going to be ideal just for me playing basically Bluetooth from my watch or from my phone. It's got this little wired display here, which looks like that. It's about that size physically, and this little remote, which is battery powered. And by the way, I've already gotten one on here. It's not doing anything at the moment. I just wanted to test it. This is on a little steering wheel mount thing, so that's going to be real easy for me to control it. And I'm probably going to put the display down here because it's very similar in shape and size to this display, so it's going to be kind of, you know, That one will be there floating and this one will be here. So that's how I'll do that eventually in the future. What else? This box here. Oh, so this is a little bracket if I ever need to relocate a number plate, which I am definitely going to do because I hate that thing sticking out the back of the motorbike there. It's ugly as. So I'll probably relocate the number plate on this thing. It was cheap, so you know. And that is a replacement LED light to light up the number plate because, you know, regulations say that the number plate has to be lit up. So what we got in here, this is the next exciting piece, probably the next big job that I will do as a separate video. Here we have a TST Industries integrated, TST Industries integrated tail light. Da-da, and yes, it is smoked. It is smoke black, but believe it or not, the lights coming out of this, even though it's smoked, are brighter than the ones coming out of that at the moment. You can imagine what it's going to be like. Black. So this has just the tail light and the brake light in it. This has the tail light, the brake light, the left indicator and the right indicator. So I'll be able to do away with all of this. And this is the programmable version if you know about these. So I can make the indicator lights go roop, 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 like an Audi. You know, it'll go left to right or right to left. So it'll be very obvious what I'm doing. A lot of people say, oh, those integrated tail lights are way too hard to see exactly what, you know, what the person is doing, or you know, they're not bright enough or whatever. These, I did my research, these are very bright, actually brighter than what that current factory one is, and the indicators are very obvious. And if I do get into any trouble when I say that, what I mean to say is I actually don't know what the regulations are here in New Zealand for indicated taillights. Some places say that you have to have the indicators spaced an exact certain number of centimeters apart minimum. I don't know what the situation is here. I'm just going to install it, and if I run into trouble, I get a fine or something. It won't be huge. I might even get compliance or something. But if that becomes a problem, I'll keep that on there and I'll add some LED strip indicators further apart on the bike so that it's extra obvious if that is needed. So I'm not worried. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. Can't wait to do that. And at the same time, I'll be able to install this, relocate the number plate light, and do away with that whole ugly section sticking out the back of the bike. So that's the next most exciting thing probably. And so these TST things do come with load resistors to help balance out the fact that you're installing LEDs for indicators rather than incandescent bulbs. Because once you install LEDs, you get hyperflash. So those load resistors simulate the load of a regular incandescent bulb and stop that from happening. They come standard with all the boxes, with all the integrated taillights. I'm not going to use them. I don't see the point in going to LEDs and conserving electricity if I'm then just going to put something in it which is going to suck more back out. So the other way you can do it is you can install a variable indicator relay. And what this does, it's basically just a relay. It's just a plug and play thing. It goes, you take out your factory indicator relay, plug this one in, and then there's a little dial on it where you adjust it, and you can actually adjust the speed of your indicators flashing, and it prevents hyperflash essentially. And that solves the problem without having to wire in resistors. Not that it's something I couldn't do, but I just, you know, feel like it's stupid to install LEDs which use less power if you're then going to install something to compensate and use more power. So yeah, that'll be something I'll get to do in the near future. Looking forward to that. Gonna make the bike look so much better without that thing sticking out the back. And then the last major thing I've got planned for it, I've got here a selection of vinyls from a local vinyl company in Auckland in the North Island. So far I'm very happy. I bought one of these sample packs off them on Trade Me, and they sent me all these different things, and I'm very happy with the quality with it. I haven't used any of it yet, so it's probably silly to say that, but everything looks really good. And I've been photoshopping my bike like crazy, and I've come up with this image. And that is what I want to do to my bike. So I really like the white Ninjas a lot more than the black ones. I do like the black ones because they look badass, they're stealth, they're like Batmobiles, they look really, really cool and mean. But if there's one thing I care more about than looking cool, it's people seeing me in the first place. Because motorbikes get hit a lot by cars, sadly, because we're a smaller object and people apparently need something the size of a small car for them to actually be able to pick it up with their eyes, unfortunately. The other way around it is you have something really bright and stand out. So I really like the white Ninjas. They're very, not loud, but they're bright. They're easy to see. And for a while I was thinking I was going to wrap those fairings in just plain white vinyl. But that didn't sit right with me, because even though I really like the white ones, it felt stupid to be putting in a lot of time and effort into wrapping a bike in vinyl and making it a stock color. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems like a step sideways, not a step forward. I feel like all my effort is just to make something regular. So I have to be me, I have to be unique and different. So the main fairing, this is the only thing that doesn't really show up on that picture. The main fairing I want to wrap in, and I do have a piece of it here, probably this one here. Now it's not going to show up very well on camera, but this is like a satin metallic white, and it looks really, really cool. The white Ninja is obviously just straight gloss white, satin metallic. There's a whole bunch of whites this place has. Like we've got, that's a matte white, that's opalescent. That one's opalescent, that one's pearlescent. And I've even got white carbon fiber, and yes, I did consider wrapping the whole thing in white carbon fiber, but I think that texture would look a bit tacky in such a large scale. So I'm wrapping the main fairing, I want to wrap the main fairing in the satin metallic white, which I think will look really cool in the sun. And then the fairings under the headlight, under the seat, and underneath the rear seat are going to be wrapped in this black and white sticker bomb, which I think will look really cool and make it unique and stand out from the rest. And I'm also planning on putting in some elements of carbon fiber. Not sure exactly what parts yet. Maybe the piece that goes on top of the headlights. So as I was saying, this is like the metallic sort of ice white thing that's going to be there. The sticker bomb, this piece, and these pieces underneath. But as you can see, there's a divide here, so this is the central piece here. And I'll either leave this piece here straight black, or I might do it in high gloss carbon fiber. Not sure yet. And then I'm still not sure about the wheel guard either. That's something I'll make my mind up as I go, I think. And I'm going to replace the grille, the visor. And who knows, there may be more down the line, but that's the next sort of really big thing I want to do to the bike, is wrap it in vinyl and make it look really cool. So there is plenty to be done. So yeah, here's, like, you guys have seen my bike, it's this black one. Here's what my inspiration came from, the white Ninjas, which I think look really cool. And here's what I've ended up with. And you'll be able to see that all the bolts and a lot of the pieces of metal and stuff like that are actually green. What I want to do there is, on eBay there are lots and lots of things where you can buy anodized green hardware to replace a lot of the pieces on your bike. So when we're talking fairing bolts, windshield bolts, spools for the front and rear, handlebar end tips, all sorts of things. And there's even a green windshield visor on there as well. And the reason I'm going for green is because even with it not wrapped, the green with the black will still look really, really cool. So here's a picture of it just black with the green, and here's a picture of it wrapped in the vinyl with the green as well. So yeah, either way, it's gonna look really cool. I might do it in stages. Maybe I'll do all the green stuff first, roll it around black and green for a while, Xbox colors, and then after a while I'll wrap it in the vinyl and see how I like it. And yeah, that is it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this video. What I might do is, we might as well see what it sounds like while I'm riding, so let's put down the DSLR, chuck the GoPro on the helmet and go for a ride.
Man, it is way louder. I don't know how much you guys can hear it because the microphone is inside my helmet, but for me it's way louder. Sounds so cool though, like, oh man, like the backfire rumble, like, you know, the run dun 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 dun, is like way more than before. Need to go somewhere where I can really get on it. What I think I love about this exhaust is that it makes a 300cc bike sound like a 600cc bike. And shit, I got the visor open. So this is how loud it is with the visor open, but if I close it, it probably makes it a bit more muffled for you guys. We'll head home now. Just a quick ride. Alright, here we go. Sounds good, sounds real good. It sounds so much better than the high-powered scooter I had before. Like, and now when I'm decelerating, it's like run, blah, 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 blah. Look at those clouds though, they don't look very friendly. I'm glad I did this today. Should probably slow down just a tad. Even though it's wide open road, this is a 30k zone, it's supposed to be going 30, but you know. It's okay, I'm in Mexico. That's what you guys say, isn't it? Oh, we're just somewhere in Mexico at the moment now. Yeah, just in Mexico. So good. So good. Let's open this up. There we go. Loving it. Loving it. Hopefully no one tries to take it off me and says that. Hopefully I don't get blue and red flashing lights in the wind view in the mirror telling me that's too loud. I don't think it is. I see, like, I've seen other people on the street with them. Well, I'm not sure about this one, I'm not sure. We shall see, won't we? We shall see what happens. So that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and for all of you who stick to the end, good job. Thumbs up to you. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, not a thumbs down. Give it a thumbs up. If you want to, you know, see more of my bike mods in the future, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. Choose to be happy, and I will catch you in the next video. Kite Ano.